I literally went to the workout just to work out. And I'm thinking like it's just gonna be random guys. Adrian Peterson pull up, Trent Williams pull up, all these guys pull up. And next thing I know, Coop started coming later and later to the workout. He would call me and say, hey, warm him up. Then he would show up later and later. Hey, warm him up and then do this first circuit. And I'm looking around like it's me who I've never trained anybody a day in my life. And I'm training almost, well over $100 million worth of athletes. And I've never trained anybody a day in my life.
Wow.
And I'm training over $100 million worth of athletes.
Welcome everybody to episode 1 of Processing the Process with myself, Melvin Johnson. I'm here with a friend of mine, a personal trainer, Ronnie. But before I let him introduce himself and talk a little bit about what he does and his whole story and journey, if you will. One, this podcast video is definitely for anyone that wants to know what it takes to make it to the top. Anyone that looks at anyone with any type of success and say, oh, that person made it, that person has done things that I want to do. I think we all can agree that in order to get to the top, there's a process that it takes to get there.
Yeah.
It's a journey. It's not just a finish line. It's not a goal, because it's never a goal, because that goal is forever changing. It's forever moving, but it's definitely a process. So for me, this show here is basically talking about individuals that have identified what their process is and they fell in love with that process. And I just want to celebrate that and talk about that process and just shine light on your story, man. So without any further ado, very blessed for you to be here to join me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
My pleasure.
Everybody who you are, your journey, your story.
So my name is Ronnie Bookman, and I've been training now for about 4.5, 5 years now. Okay. So my story is pretty interesting because I never actually wanted to be a trainer.
Really?
So, most guys have a story of, man, all my life I knew I wanted to do this, so I knew the path I wanted my life to take. I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. I remember I was at the 24 Hour Fitness on Richmond Avenue. Yeah. I used to work at the front desk, and I was...
Were you at the one before they moved to the end, or when they was in the middle?
No, I was at the end. I was at the end. Yeah, I was at the end already.
What year was this? This was...
maybe
2009, 8-ish maybe?
No, probably about 13, 12. Okay. Yeah, maybe 2012, 2013. And I was working behind the front desk, and I met my mentor, a guy by the name of James Cooper. And I would see him come in with all these different athletes, and I was like, man, this guy, he's a personal trainer. I wonder what else he'd do. Yeah. Because I would see him in all these different cars. He'd be like in a Mercedes, then a Porsche. And I'm like, this guy has to do something on the side, because all the other personal trainers, they was always a trainer and something else. Gotcha. They was always, oh, I'm a trainer, but I gotta go to my second job. Yeah. So I was like, a dentist is not a dentist and a chef. Yeah. Why does a personal trainer have to be a personal trainer and something else? Why can't you take what you do, what you love, your passion, and make a career out of it? And so I never wanted to be a personal trainer, because that was the only exposure I had to personal training. The personal training career was guys like, oh, I will have a second job, or, oh, I have to do this to support my family. And so I met this guy.
Personal training that you knew was, their passion was personal training.
Right.
They had to do other things to pursue their passion, which was personal training.
Right. So I'm a firm believer in do what you love, follow your passion, but you also have to know how to turn your passion into a business.
100%.
Because it's a difference between doing something for a hobby. If you do it for free, that's your hobby, right? You can do your passion for free, but what about when you want to start having kids, you have a wife? Follow your passion, but it's a sweet spot of learning how to turn your passion into a business. So that's what I kind of had to learn how to do. So I would talk to this guy, and he invited me to a workout.
Okay.
And the guy named.
So just to give a little bit more context, I know a little bit about James, because James Cooper is also, if I'm not mistaken, 1/3 owner of OAthletik, which is the gym that we go to when we're training.
In the Heights, yes, sir.
Perfect. So James Cooper becomes your mentor at this point. And well, how did that whole relationship start? Obviously, you were working in the front. I assume that you engaged in conversation.
So the relationship was very, on my half, was very intentional. So I looked at it as being at the front desk, not, oh man, I gotta go to work, I'm not making that much money, oh man, I gotta go to work for 8 hours. I looked at it as it's about 1,500 people that's gonna walk in and out this door while I'm here. How can I shake hands, make connections, make contacts?
That's interesting. So you went to work with a purpose.
I went to work with a purpose.
It wasn't.
I'm gonna meet somebody, and somebody is gonna change my life.
That's what this is about. This is about stuff that people are doing on a day-to-day basis. No matter if you're a chef, if you're a whatever job or title that you're doing right now, you can have more impact than you think if you take it to the next gear.
Right.
Take it to the next step.
Right.
Which is what you did. Was actually, hey, I'm not just gonna check people in and out, make sure that they're.
It put me in a better mood. I had fun. It just when you I believe you have to be intentional. Whatever you do, you have to be intentional. And so the way I looked at it, like I said, was I'm gonna meet somebody walking out this door that's gonna change my life. Right? Because I'm gonna do my half. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I have to offer. I didn't know exactly what, because at the time I still didn't want to be a trainer.
So what did you want to be?
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
I know we kind of jumped into it real quick, but let's take it back. So where were you born?
Okay.
Only child. Tell me a little bit about your, Spider-Man story. Got bit by the spider.
No. So I'm born in Houston, Texas. South Park off MLK. We moved kind of more towards the suburbs, so I went to Persian Middle School, Lamar High School, then I went to the University of Houston. Okay. So something interesting, I actually got shot now with a pellet gun. So I actually was brain dead for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, so my right eye, I was in the 8th grade, so.
Okay, so wow.
Yeah, 8th grade.
Was it like you do it to yourself, unintentional? So
no,
it was just random.
It was so, you remember the pellet guns? You had to pump. Yeah. You had to. So we used to put it between our legs and pump it up and pump it up. And this particular gun, it jammed. And so I always was good at like wrestling and boxing and things like that. So I was messing with my cousin. I had him in a headlock, and I was like, "Call me uncle." And we just being kids, just messing around. So he picked the gun up, and we had just tried to shoot it, but it wouldn't shoot. It was jammed. So when he pointed at me, he's like, "What you gonna do now?" I didn't think to flinch. I just moved the gun. I moved the gun, and next thing I knew, I was in the hospital.
Wow.
And I woke up. And I just remember hearing a doctor. He was like, if you can hear my voice, squeeze my hand. And I can hear him, but I'm looking at his hand and I just couldn't squeeze my hand. And he's looking at my mom like, yeah, he's gonna be non-responsive. Probably has a little brain damage. I'm like, no, I can hear you, but I'm looking at my hand and I just couldn't squeeze it. And so he was like, yeah, I think he may have had a little damage. And I'm like, no. So then I also remember like I was drooling. I could feel the drool going down my cheek, but I just couldn't respond to it. I couldn't respond. And so
so you basically had a drive and a fight.
Yeah.
Jump.
Yeah.
No matter what it is that you're doing.
I can go right now and collect a check for being disabled. If I wanted to. But I refuse to. I refuse.
Understood.
I found a way to turn my disability into a capability. That's how I like to look at it.
You know what I've been thinking about recently? I've been thinking about a lot, and it's chips. Mm-hmm. Not tortilla chips or potato chips, but like the chip on your shoulder. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people lean away from your chips, rather is didn't grow up in a 2-parent household, black, whatever it is, like adversities, things that's, somebody's an alcoholic or juicing. There's so many things that we look at as negatives, but I think that if anyone can lean into their chips, call them, into their adversities, use them as fuel, and reasons to continue to go.
Yes.
I think in America we celebrate success stories, the Rockies, if you will, the 8 Mile with Eminem, somebody that came from nothing and made it happen. So if you have those chips and those adversities and things that people would look down on, but you press through it, like that's a story to tell behind those stories. And that's just another chip that you have on your resume.
1,000%.
So for you, so now we're in 8th grade. So going into high school, obviously I assume that everything worked out in your favor. You were responsive at some point.
So going into high school, 9th, 10th, 11th grade, I wanted to be a bad actor. I didn't want to go to college, didn't want to go to school. I wanted to be in the streets, and that's where my mind was all through high school. I skipped so much that, and it's not. This is terrible for anyone who's listening. This is not good, but this is just a backstory of where I am today and how I used to think back then. I skipped so much that I got my driver's license. Well, I went to go take the test, and I had to get a verification of enrollment, and the school would not verify that I was enrolled, and I had the honor roll.
Wow.
Every report card I had honor roll, but I skipped so much. I had so many unexcused absences that they would not verify my enrollment.
That's interesting.
But I had all A's.
All A's, but you skipped so much that they
couldn't verify. Couldn't even say I was a student.
Wow.
And so and day by day I saw that, like, man, the way I think, the way I'm living, the way I want my life to go, I just literally was sitting on my couch and it just was an aha moment. It was like, could I see myself doing what I'm doing now? Could I see myself doing this 5 years from now? I knew everything I wanted. I wanted a wife. I wanted a family. I wanted to be successful. And I was like, it's no way that I'm gonna get any of those things. And if I do, I'm not gonna be responsible enough to keep them if I do get them. And that's literally, some people it happens like that. Some people need near-death experiences.
Yeah.
Some people gotta go to jail for a long time. I was just always the type, like, look at other people's stories, look at other people's life, and learn from it. So the way I'm,
whether it's good or bad,
right?
Their story.
So the way I'm living like a guy who's in prison or dead. So why do I think anything is going to happen other than that to my life? And I literally just was like, I'm changing my life.
Wow. So you changed your life, and so let's speed up to where we kind of left off and wanted to go backwards. You're in 24-hour fitness. You meet Coop. We know him in the gym. We call him Coop, James Cooper. And obviously you engage in a conversation. Somehow he sees something in you that says, hey, I want to take you under my wings.
At this time, I still didn't want to be a trainer.
Okay.
I was just going to go work out.
So how'd you get the job? Did you just get a job?
No,
you needed a job, or you got?
No, it wasn't a job. I just went. I literally went to the workout just to work out. And I'm thinking, like, it's just gonna be random guys. Adrian Peterson pull up, Trent Williams pull up, all these guys pull up. And next thing I know, Coop started coming later and later to the workout. He would call me and say, hey, warm him up. Then he would show up later and later. Hey, warm him up and then do this first circuit. And I'm looking around like, it's me who I've never trained anybody a day in my life. And I'm training almost, well over $100 million worth of athletes. And I've never trained anybody a day in my life.
Wow.
And I'm training over $100 million worth of athletes.
And this is at 24-hour fitness?
This was at 24-hour fitness.
You was basically his understudy.
Right.
And you didn't, at this time, did you take any classes to be a certified?
Not yet. Not at that time.
You was just doing what you're doing, just being a student.
Just being a student.
Just saying, hey,
yeah.
What do I need to do? Being hungry, being eager.
Yeah.
Coop said, let's do this for the first
20
minutes.
So
that's what you did. Okay.
The reason why I think it really worked is because he's a firm believer in, people don't understand value until they invest. He don't believe in giving anybody anything.
I've heard that by him.
Right. So you really have value if you have to invest something. So I had to invest my time. I'm training all these guys. I mean, it would be 8, 9 hours, 10 hours a day where I had to be readily available and be ready to train on the spot. Hey, what you got? I need you to train in 10 minutes. Okay, I'll be there. So at this time, I'm in school. I was in school. I was going to HCC to study process technology, because at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do.
But you knew you just needed.
My mom, you need to go to school. You don't go to school, I'm gonna kick you out. You need to do something positive with your life. So I just went to process technology, and it got to a point to where my school schedule and my training schedule, and that I wasn't getting paid for, was conflicting. So I had to make a decision on, do I go to school for process technology, or do I take a chance in this training field, which is oversaturated? There's a trainer on every corner. It's personal training is like one of those things like, oh, I love to work out, I hate my job. You know what? Let me go be a personal trainer.
Absolutely.
It's one of those fields.
In this day and age, now
Right.
where it's Instagram and anyone can start throwing up pictures and calling themselves whatever they want to call themselves.
Right.
And that's
So it's like it's always like, man, do I really want to go into that field? You know, people don't take personal training seriously.
Yep.
So I remember vividly that I quit going to school, and so I was living with my mom at the time, and the guys had went back for the football season, and I didn't have anybody to train. So I would have to leave my house as if I'm going to class and just go sit at Starbucks, because at the time I never told my mom that I quit going to school.
Wow.
She was still thinking that I was leaving, going to school for process technology, but at the time I had quit school and was going to go personal train.
So at this time, and I'm familiar with the story. You have to, when you're living with your parents or whoever that person is, aunt, uncle, parent, and they say, hey, if you want to stay here, you got to be in school.
You got to be out.
So you have to keep that facade up for
Right.
a amount of time.
Right.
But I'm assuming at this time you realize, I think this is something I want to do. This is, I want to make this happen.
Right.
Perfect. So now you're still at 24-hour fitness, off seasons here. Now you're looking for clients at this point?
No. So I still was I spent 2 years, what people understand, I spent 2 years of my career, so to speak, no payment, learning, working for free.
So
2 years straight.
The jewel right here, like
2 years straight, I was working for free. And people say, I'm a firm believer, if you love what you do, you can do it for free. 2 years had passed, and I didn't even realize it was 2 years that I had been training and just basically studying.
Yep.
I looked at it as not necessarily I'm working for free, but also the knowledge I'm getting is priceless.
Worth something.
So I may not be getting tangible payment, but the intangible payment I'm getting is going to benefit me times over than a quick paycheck right now.
True.
So
Do you think, and this is me thinking about something, do you believe that it will come to a time in our lifetime, maybe our children's lifetime, I don't have kids yet, but I know you have a little girl, but in your daughter's lifetime, where she may have to pay to be an intern? Like, in your story, she would have to pay Cooper in order to work with Cooper for that amount of time. I think it's possible for that to happen.
I think that's possible.
And think about you, like,
I think that's possible.
To a point to where someone wants to be your, wants to, hey, Ronnie, can you mentor me? Like, okay, I can do it, but I'm busy. You need to pay me X amount of dollars to do so.
I think that's possible, but I wouldn't do it.
Understood.
I wouldn't do it.
You know the value in.
I know the value in just giving somebody a chance.
Pay it forward.
You know what I mean? Like, just take a chance on somebody. Like, I wouldn't do it, because not everyone. If I'm looking for a job, how am I going to pay to get a job if I'm looking for a job? And that can be your star player that you passed up on for pennies.
Could be. But, I mean, I just feel like
I can definitely see that happening. 1,000%.
So, tell me, where's the point to where you first got your first client?
So I got my first.
24-hour fitness.
So I never was a trainer at 24-hour fitness.
Still.
I was never hired by 24-hour fitness. So he had a deal. We had a deal with 24-hour fitness that as long as we would bring in professional athletes, that we never had to be an employee of 24-hour fitness.
So you never worked there. You were just working out there.
Right. I never worked there. Like, I was never an employee. They would allow us to come in and train because the manager was like, well, as long as you guys not training 24-hour fitness members, and as long as you're not bringing just people in here from anywhere, as long as they're a notable professional athlete, fine. Because it was good for them. Right. You walk in, you see Adrian Peterson in 24-hour. Right.
It's a win-win.
So it was like, as long as it's somebody who's notable, then you guys just come in and train. Okay. And so at this time, he was working to build OAthletik, which is where we are now. And
my favorite gym.
Mine too. And it was an ongoing process with permitting. And at this time, I'm telling my mom I had to come out and tell the truth that, hey, I'm not in school. She told me this is the biggest mistake you're making. You need to go to a job for business. You need to go to school for business. And I'm like, and do what? She's like, just anything but training. Nobody believed in personal training. Nobody.
But you knew what you had.
I knew. I just felt it. It's like same thing when I got married. It's like when you know. This is another jewel I want to drop. If you inspire to be anything great, you have to be sensitive to situations. You have to be sensitive to your senses, if that makes sense. Everyone's looking for these signs of what's the next best move. No one is going to tell you, hey Melvin, this is the next best move for you in your life. This is it. When I say you need to be sensitive, I mean you need to know like little things to look for, little things to feel for, like, okay, do I want to make a left versus a right? Do I want to keep straight or do I want to make a right? You need to know what to be sensitive to. It makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like just be you gotta be sensitive. If you're intentional, you'll be sensitive to your surroundings and to things that's happening. Because I was sensitive enough to know that I was onto something. Right? No matter what, my mom, my dad, brothers, family, I'm broke at the time, right? But I knew I was on to something.
You believed in
and I believed in it.
Ability.
I believed in it.
Yourself,
it's a good gamble.
What your passion was
yes.
At that point, what you found, I'm assuming you found your passion in personal training, and you went all in.
Yeah.
And you were already a part of your journey, a part of your process, and working for free, learning and soaking up as much game, as much opportunity, as much knowledge as you can. And when the opportunity presented itself, you was able to jump on it and make the most of it.
That's what I did.
Absolutely.
That's what I did.
OAthletik, if I'm not mistaken, opened up, was it 3 years ago maybe?
I believe it was 2015. 2015.
So 2015. So for those who don't know, OAthletik is a gym that is a phenomenal gym in my opinion in Houston, Texas, in the Heights, not too far from my house. The way I stumbled upon it was going home, me and my wife, I believe it was a Saturday. We were, if you're familiar with the area, we was coming over that bridge until we left. For months, we saw the signs going up and permitting and was it open.
Man.
And one Saturday we were going, we saw people going in, so we was like, oh, we don't have nothing to do. Let's turn in. Went in. They had the table up there. They was just starting to
pre-sale.
Yeah. So we got in.
Man.
Got in early. I got in so early I was able to pick my ID number.
Wow.
So my member number, I was able to pick my own member number. And they was telling us about it. They told us about all the different classes you can have and gave us a tour of the facility, which has the indoor,
the turf.
It has the sand in the back. It has
the hill.
What the elevation is, but it has a
30 degree
hill in the back. Has MMA, boxing,
cage,
has
jiu-jitsu.
Everything that you would ideally want out of a gym. And it's great. And for us, we like it because of one, the classes, which is how I met you. We'll talk a little bit more about the classes as well, and kind of maybe how you learn how to make connections and get clients out of that. But it was a gym that we saw that people of all walks of life can come. Obviously, professional athletes go there. People that others may feel are overweight go there, feel comfortable and get in shape. People that are in shape go there, continue to get in shape. It's not pretentious. It don't feel like you're out of place. Everybody's welcome in, no matter
it's a community
who you are or what your athletic ability is at that time. You're still welcome because it's just that time and place. So when I first was introduced to you, and when I say that, it was through one of the classes. One of the classes was Alpha Strong. Alpha Strong is a class.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you still teach Alpha Strong?
Every Monday at 6 a.m.
Okay, so obviously you're running
Alpha Strong.
So busy with this that you can't be a part of the classes anymore.
Yeah, that's my baby, Alpha Strong.
Classes Alpha Strong where you do a lot of weightlifting.
Yeah.
So tell me about your first experience. Obviously, it sounds like you were there to open up the gym.
Yeah.
Be a part of the first wave of training that came through. So how was that process, opening up the gym?
So it was a rigorous process because I'm telling my parents, I'm gonna work for this gym. It's gonna be open in 5 months. 5 months came. It's gonna be open in 2 more months. 2 more months came. It'll be open next year. First of the year came. It's gonna be open next month. So it literally was about a year from the original date of me saying this gym is gonna open. But at the time, I'm not making a lot of money, but I'm making some type of money because I was doing pre-sales. So it was nothing but dirt and dust and construction, and all we had was this board with what the gym is going to look like. No air conditioning, no nothing, and we would just sit in and just, for people like you, just hope they walk by, and we would do all our marketing, things like that. But so at the time, that's how I started making just a little money and pre-sales, which I didn't want to do it, but it played a part in me being the trainer I am, because every trainer is a salesman. Mm-hmm. And this goes from not just training, this goes to any industry.
Let's go into that.
You are a salesman first. Mm-hmm. You are in the service. If you are a salesman, you are in the service industry. So being able to get in front of people and being able to break the ice is a skill that I kind of learned and perfected from just having random people walking in and basically selling them a dream that I saw in, a dream that I envisioned, and just selling you my dream. And that helped me in my career today, because if you can just break past certain barriers that you never thought you can break past, it'll take your confidence, it'll take everything you do in your career, it'll take you to the next level.
So let's go into that, because that's one of the things that I feel like you bring to the table that I don't want to say nobody does or you're the only one that does it, because there are a lot of trainers that have a lot of just swag, if you will, and getting clients to come in and train with them and build their clientele that way. What did you do to build your clientele to where it is now? What is the little things? Because I think that, obviously, I'm also a salesperson as well. I'm a salesman. I sell myself. There's a lot of things that we have to do in order to get clients. And some of the things that we have to do, which everyone has to do if you're in any kind of sales, outside sales, is like the cold calling. I would probably bet and say 90% of people hate cold calling because it's a grind. It's right. You got to call, people hang up on you, people say no, but it's the necessary evil and things that you have to do to be successful. However, if you fall in love with cold calling, fall in love with the process, fall in love with just hearing no and honing in on your skills and learning new ways to get past the gatekeeper or get past an objective, you're going to get better. But the numbers are going to be in your favor. You just have to keep.
It's a numbers game.
You have to keep doing it. So, what is it? What are some things that you do that most people may do in the beginning but stop doing, or things that you did that was more unique that the next trainer didn't do, but you do really well and you identify with that? What are some of the little nuggets that got you to where you are right now?
So I'm a firm believer in paying attention to the details and enjoying the process. It's just the same as if what you did to lose a lot of weight or to get to your goal weight, the moment you get to that weight, most people are going to stop doing all the things that they did to get to that weight. But then when they start back gaining weight, they don't understand why, right? So if this is what it took to get here, then if I want to maintain or even get better, I still have to do all those small things. A lot of people think they're too big for the small things. I'm too successful. I have enough clients, or I get enough referrals. I don't have to, I'm beyond the small things. And at some point, once you grow, yes, you get people in place, but you're never too big for the small things. So for me, I used to order up about 500 business cards a month, right? Just my name on it, just regular business cards. And I would go to Whole Foods and I would just sit out. Anyone who had on yoga tights, anyone who had on workout clothes, anyone who looked like they work out, I would just give them my card. And the way I looked at it as, if I give out 100 cards a week, I should get at least 10 people to call me back. And if I can get 10 people to call me back, I better get 1 or 2 people to come to this gym and do an assessment. And if I can get 2 clients a week, 1 or 2 clients a week, how amazing would my growth be? And it's the same thing with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan averaged 32 points a game. And when they looked at him, they said, man, how did you average 32 points a game? He said, I never looked at it as averaging 32 points a game. I looked at it as if I can just get 8 points a quarter, right? If I just break it down and not focus on the big picture of 8 points a quarter may seem small. 2 clients a week may seem small, but 6 months from now, I've been getting 2 clients a week. 6 months from now, now look at my roster.
Talk to them.
Right.
That is the process. A lot of people, including myself at times, look at the finish line, look at the end goal. Like, I want to have, in your case, I want to have 50 clients.
Right.
Consistent good ones, like 50 good clients. But it starts with handing out 100.
Starts with one.
It starts with one.
Starts with one.
It starts with handing out. Like, to hear you saying that you camped out at Whole Foods. Places where you feel like the individual that you want to train is going to be at, to stand there, hand out your card. Obviously, you have to have some kind of pitch or energy about yourself to get them, those 10 people to call you back. Like, that's the grind right there.
Yes.
Overnight. Like,
yes.
You had to. So for me, when I ran into you and met you, obviously there's a ton of classes that OAthletik offers. If anyone is in the Houston area, I recommend that you go there and try it out for a week if you can, however it's set up to where you can go. But I would highly recommend it. But for me, it was your energy. Everybody's different the way that they train, and everybody's different the way that they receive information, but it was the energy. Now, I trained out with a couple of other personal trainers prior to you. Some have gone and left or come back or whatever, but I saw that when I was taking your class, it was a push, a drive. It was little things that you said that motivated me and kept me going. Is that a part of the experience that you want to bring to your training?
1000%. It's more than a workout. Anyone can put together a bunch of exercises and call it a workout, right? For me, it's about the experience. It's about what am I getting? So I look at everything. It's a thing that I go by. It's called ODEM.
Okay.
ODEM. Right? ODEM. The O stands for obligation, then desire, then enjoyment, and then mastery. Right? Okay. Most people that I encounter in the gym, they're gonna fall in the first category is obligation, right? A lot of people don't really enjoy the process of going to the gym. The obligation is, I went to the doctor, I have high blood pressure, my wife said I'm getting fat, my husband is not attracted to me, so they have an obligation to come to the gym. So my job is, how can I turn this obligation to now they have a desire? Right? Now they move to desire. Maybe they lose 5 pounds. Maybe their coworkers say, oh, have you been working out? You look good. Maybe, oh, your face looks slimmer. So now they have a desire. So now they don't just have an obligation. Now they have a desire. So now how can I make them enjoy it? Right? Man, it's Tuesday. I can't wait to get to the gym. I'm going to take Ronnie's class today. Man, I enjoy it. Right? How can I make them live in enjoyment? And then the last one is mastery. Mastery is, okay, I've been taking this class. I want to go to the next level. Now I want to personal train, or now I want to try to do a small marathon or half marathon, or now I want to try to do a tough mudder. So every person that I encounter, everything that I touch, that's how I look at every single person, right? How can I make you enjoy this gym experience? Because it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. I'm not one of those trainers like, oh, don't eat this, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. Well, it's not sustainable because a lot of people don't have the discipline. So how can I work around that, still give them the results they're looking for, but also allow them to enjoy the whole process? Absolutely. And so that's my spiel. But then I think with me, it's community, right? It's about community, because a workout is a workout, right? A lot of people go online and get all these workouts. A lot of people go on YouTube, not Instagram, and get all these workouts off of Instagram, whether they're working or not, whether it's a great program or not. I'm not one to say whether it is or not, but I'm saying for me and my clients, it's a community. We're like I look at it like OAthletik is the city, and we're like our own little bracket in OAthletik.
I agree. I feel the community that you built. I am proud to be a part of that community.
Thank you, sir. Still about the gym.
No, absolutely.
But yeah,
absolutely. All about the gym for sure. You know, we don't do anything outside of the gym, but you know, me and my wife, we started going to you this year about February, start training on 2 days out of the week. And I believe maybe it was a month or two ago after I felt like, okay, I'm starting to get back into a level where I feel comfortable and can get pushed a little bit more. You know, one of the things I asked you, because everyone in the gym knows who you train. Obviously, just your persona, you know, the energy that you bring, the clientele, you can see the transformation from your clientele. And I was like, what time does your A team? I call them the A team because in the gym I was in there and I saw, you know, obviously the type of weights that they're putting up, and kind of the workout. So I said, oh, that's the group. At 5 a.m. I said, okay.
Yeah, those guys can go.
Yeah. You know, but it definitely is a community, and I have witnessed you have the ability to train multiple people at different levels, but still get the most out of them at the same time. Which, to me, if I had to kind of give that an example or try to, what is that like? To me, it's like a chef that can cook multiple meals and bring it out hot to everyone at the table. They can cook 3 different dishes and bring them hot that cooks at different temperature, different times, and it's like a little orchestra. Like
that's exactly what it is. So the way my groups are is I pride myself on getting different people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different training levels, and can come to the workout and get exactly what they need.
Absolutely.
Right? You're going to get what you need. The next guy going to get what he need. The next guy going to get what he need. And you all need something different. Right?
Yep.
I pride myself on being able, that is a science. It is a science to it because you still have to make the workout flow. You got to know your clientele. You got to know, okay, Melvin can do this. This guy can't do this. Okay, this guy can do this. Melvin, that's not his strength. So you have to know your clients first. And then you just have to know how to make it make sense. But my biggest accomplishments that I feel is when you take these guys who would never even talk to each other, who would never even be friends, who would never even speak to each other, but then on the weekend they send you a picture and I'm not even there.
Yeah.
I'm not there.
Yep.
I wasn't even invited. They're hanging out together.
You got a whole new friendship.
And that's what makes me sticky.
Absolutely.
Right? You may feel like, man, Ronnie made me mad. I don't want to train with Ronnie no more. I don't want to go to the gym today. I'm tired. But man, Steven gonna be there.
Yeah.
So now it makes me sticky.
Now you got the hooks in you. Like you can't escape me.
Right.
Like, we're in this together. In
Right.
a good way. It's not in
a great way.
100%
Yeah, 1,000%.
I go to the gym now. I see people there. In my opinion, when I go to the gym, I feel like other people that are there know, oh, you train with Ronnie, or you can see, oh, we're doing another class like or something.
Right.
He's putting up more weight than what other people are doing, but they're because he trained with Ronnie. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
100% of community.
1,000%.
You know, I know we kind of, talking about a lot of this, but, where did that come from? The being able to be the chef. Was it just you in your early days with Coop and learning the way that he trains? How did you develop that technique on how to get everyone on the same page at the same time, but at different levels?
I don't know. I think it's just a gift. I don't know, and I try to explain it, but it's not until people see it that they really understand it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's just I just do it. It's I don't think about it. I just do it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where just some people just have certain gifts, and that's definitely one of my gifts.
Definitely have a gift, and I thank you so much for being a part.
Oh, for sure. I appreciate you.
Very first show of processing the process.
1,000%.
But I really wanted to sit down with you because obviously you have a story that we were able to hear, and it was phenomenal. But I think you have a way about you, the way that you train, your personality in the gym is infectious for everyone.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I think anyone that has taken the time to utilize you as a trainer has seen results one way or the other, rather it's with their own energy, coming to the gym, being excited for the gym. Your Odom, which is something I would assume that you coined, something that you came up with, which is phenomenal, which I can definitely understand and see how you apply that daily. But one of the things I want to do to close the show, because we are living Now here's the year 2019. Things live on the internet. Things live forever. Is there anyone, and I'm going to give you two people.
Okay.
I want you to think of two people, whether it's professional and selfish for you, somebody that you want to meet, because we're not sure who's going to listen to this, who's going to see this, that may be the cousin of someone or the aunt of someone. Professionally, is there anyone that you want to train, somebody that is on your list, like, man, I really want to train with that person professionally in your career? Or is there someone, is there someone that you just want to meet just because, whether it's the Beyonce, like, man, I just want to meet that person because I think they have, I just want to meet that person. So we know this is going to live forever, and I'm not saying it's going to happen next month or next week, but it could be 2 years from now. Somebody fell on this clip and heard this and was like, "Oh, I know such and such. Yeah, let me send them a message."
What if the person I want to train? What if I already trained them? Does that count, or do I have to name someone else?
Someone that is not on your radar. Somebody's on your radar right now.
Okay.
But you currently don't have their information. You don't have
Jay-Z.
Get to him. Jay-Z. You want to meet him or train him?
Both.
That's your cream of the crop.
That Jay-Z.
Perfect. So if you're watching and listening, and
get me in contact with him.
Contact with Jay-Z for whatever reason, please put these two gentlemen together. Ronnie, man, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much.
1000%. Thank you.
Part of the first one. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
You too.